What's going on, wonderful people? This is Matt Squeaky Clean Air, or Matt Squeaky Clean. Let me just turn off this heater in the garage. It's blowing right over my head. So one of the things that's listen to this, very mostly. One of the things that's overlooked with a lot of air suspension installations is tightening up this center nut over here. Hence why we're doing this vlog. And why is it important? It's important because no matter how tight you make these, or no matter how tight companies make these nuts in their strut factories or tighten them up, let's not forget, or maybe you guys are not aware, okay, let's not forget that this whole air strut is sealed, or the bag underneath this upper mount is sealed to the strut when it comes to all air suspension air struts. So right underneath the upper mount here, right where the bag meets the actual shock inside, or the strut shaft, there's an O-ring. And what happens is when these are tightened up, these upper retaining bolts it basically seals the O-ring so air doesn't escape from the top. A lot of guys, after about a couple months or whatever of installation, whether it's airlift struts, doesn't matter what strut, whether it's D2 Racing, whether it's K-Sport or whatever, if the installer didn't do it correctly, they're going to have issues. And what's going to happen is you're going to have slow leaks overnight. And basically what's going to happen is you're going to leave it up, aired up overnight. And then when you come back in the morning, one side is going to be down. That's most likely because if your fittings are correct and your lines are fine, and you have no leaks from the actual plumbing to your manifold, it's most likely leaking from here. And the zoom is terrible on this phone camera. A52, people. Anyways. And so these have to be tightened. Now, how do you tighten these? Because it's really, really hard. Well, you need to get yourself an open-ended sort of a wrench like this with an extension that goes in. And these are not really readily available, but they are available. I know Harbor Freight has them and many tools have them. It's a good kit to have. This is a kit that comes with various sizes and one sort of universal or sort of like universal for all the different nuts or the inserts here, a tool like that. Mine happens to be it's a Crescent. I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm just giving you one of the options. And what it is, this will allow you to sort of put it right over here, and then you'll be able to tighten it. But the way you're going to do it is you're going to put it over, and with the other hand you're going to get for a lot of them it's a number 3 actually. Allen key, it's metric, because a lot of the struts are made in China or Taiwan, and they use metric, so it's a number 3 most of the time that goes in here, and while you're holding this you're tightening this, and you get the idea. Basically tighten it as much as you can. Never ever, and I repeat this, never ever use an impact to tighten these up. And the reason why you don't want to use an impact to tighten these up, and they do come loose over time, right? These are all mechanical parts, and they're tight and whatnot, but you turn the car and then the pillow ball moves around, everything moves around. So it's a good idea to, once a year with maintenance, when you're doing your tire rotation or whatever, to check to make sure that these are tightened, not over tightened with an impact, again, as I said, because what you're going to happen is if you tighten this up with an impact, not by hand using the open-ended and the Allen key, you're going to crush an O-ring that's there. And when you do, you're going to have leaks galore. You're not going to be able to seal it. So tread wisely and tighten these up. And I think this one, we're just doing a brand new installation here on a Jenny or a Genesis. So I know I for a fact did not double check this one. So rule of thumb, when you're doing any kind of installation, whether it's strut, whether it's suspension, it's trivial, right? Make sure all these are tight. Make sure these adjusters are tight. Make sure that the center bolt is tight. Make sure all of your bolts are tight. It's just common sense. You don't want to let go of a car, if you're doing it for a customer or for yourself, that has loose parts. Mistakes happen, but if you at least have that mindset that you're going to double check or even triple check if you don't trust yourself. I don't trust myself sometimes, but even I make mistakes. Not to say that I'm amazing or anything like that, but rule of thumb, double check them. So this is a good idea to make sure that these are tight both in the front and both in the rear. So just as a heads up, hopefully this helps you guys in the future, and I'm going to tighten these up, make sure that they're nice and snug so we don't have any leaks. This is Matt, Squeaky Clean. All the best, and keep trying to do stuff yourself and learn as you go about doing it, especially when it comes to your suspension, because you'll get to know your car a lot more and enjoy bags, because I love bags.